First thing you see is that wood. I mean, it carries a long distance. It's very muscular, very brutal almost in a way. It's a pretty powerful statement for being such a small house. You know, it is a very small house when you look at it from the outside. It's relatively small, but it makes a big statement immediately as you walk up to it. You know, it's pretty powerful. And then you go through the door. You got a really wide staircase, so I can get my grand piano up here and around the corner very easily. And then as soon as you turn the corner, it opens up. Suddenly it seems bigger on the inside than it appears to be on the outside, which is a strange illusion, but it feels great in here. You got lots of room. You turn around and you see a large glass opening. It's one wall of the bathroom. It's the shower is open over the stairway. Another really wonderful thing about this place is that you really get the sky in here, you know. The windows are a little higher, particularly in the back here, the windows are high. And so you see more of the sky than you do the neighborhood. Big windows in front. I've got big theater curtains that I had made so I can completely pull the curtains closed on all the windows and turn it into kind of a little venue almost, you know, for part of our performances, which is what I've been doing. I have little jazz performances here. Then we have the spiral staircase. You climb that into a little room upstairs that is largely windows. And every day a new kind of meteorological phenomenon unfolds before my eyes, you know. It's a pretty special place.
It was really a very positive experience. I think that the space had a lot of different usages sort of built into it. In fact, there's a future ADU compliant sort of space on the first floor. There could be a small studio apartment even in this structure. ADU is a topic that comes up a lot in the past year. It stands for Accessory Dwelling Unit. Here in Portland, the most compelling part about it is that it's a separate living apartment or a detached structure on an existing house. You can take a standalone single-family house and either add an apartment in the basement, an apartment in an addition, or an apartment in a separate structure that's totally detached. ADU we're currently building in Northeast Portland is an ADU that's built for folks who once lived in the primary house on the site, have since moved to another neighborhood and now have it as a rental house. It's going to be a rental unit behind their rental unit, so we sort of employed the idea that we would have a very high-performance structure there. It'd be a simple two-story, two-bedroom, one-bath rental unit in the Alberta Arts District. It's got a nice fold-away three-panel door that you enter through one of the panels, and in a nice summer day you could open up one whole wall of the house onto their little backyard. It has kind of a private backyard from the other house, and its primary entrance is off the alley. They're fortunate enough to have an alley in that part of town.
This is an 800 square foot accessory dwelling unit in Northeast Portland. 800 square feet is the maximum size that you can do an accessory dwelling unit. This one's a super energy efficient accessory dwelling unit. It's two-story. It's 400 square feet on the first floor and second floor. It's 16 by 24, which is a great planning from a construction standpoint, a great planning set of dimensions. It has lots of flexibility. This prototype was actually, or this ADU was actually based on a prototype that we designed that we can use in a lot of different areas. We can turn it to face the street. It can be on the alley like this. It could have a garage on the first floor and just a unit above it. So there's lots of flexibility that way. And the guidelines for the City of Portland require you in an ADU that's a detached structure to be compatible with the house. And so there's several details on the house that we just simply needed to replicate. The siding and siding patterns, the roof slope, how far the roof sticks out, those kinds of things. And so there's a lot of there's a lot of things on the house that you just take from that and apply to the accessory dwelling unit. What we have here is main floor, kitchen, dining, living room, and bathroom. So this is our living room right here. We have a nice big window, set of windows right here. You can see the shape kind of bending back under the stairs. That's actually our bathroom. Where Skylar is back here is where the toilet is. Back in the corner, there's a corner sink back there. And then right around the corner from here is the walk-in shower. These areas under a stair are always, what do you do with them? You know, we're trying to use every square cubic inch of space, and that's where our water heater is going to go. So we actually have an access door on the outside that can get to that water heater. That's a great use for that type of space. The other thing you'll see is we started with a set of winders here as it starts up the stairs. And that's just to efficiency of space. Getting winders to turn around the corner like that is just a great use of how to get up a stair really fast and really efficiently, so to save on space. So this is our first bedroom. You can see that we have the windows back out to the alley side here, so that really takes care of any sort of privacy issues there. You can see around the house here we have some higher windows, which keeps the view kind of out and straight out as opposed to down and into people's backyards. And so it becomes a way to get light in and also control privacy issues.
Sometimes we build ADUs for people that just want to add a rental unit to an existing rental house. And what we do there is try to maximize value. So we try to make the thing as low maintenance and bulletproof as possible. And then we try to make it, I encourage people to make it high performance in terms of energy use. So it has a low energy usage model, because a lot of times with an ADU, you're piggybacking the ADU onto the utilities of the primary house.
The interesting part with this project is that kind of what really drove the efficiency was the idea that this was a rental unit, and we're actually going to be sharing the electrical use between the two buildings. And so the goal was to reduce the energy load on this building as much as possible.
If you're in a situation where it's not a rental house, but it's your house and you're building a rental house in the backyard, you want to avoid the line item expenses of adding a new gas meter, a new electrical meter, and a new water meter. You're just taking those utilities off the house. So you want the new usage levels to be as low as possible.
On this project, we went with a few insulation systems to achieve our total envelope. On the exterior of the building, it's totally wrapped in a rigid foam board. It's continuous around the entire outside of the building and under the building. And then in the ceiling here, in the cavity, we used a water-blown, low-density spray foam insulation, which serves as a secondary air barrier. In the walls, we went with recycled newspaper, which is cellulose. So this is the insulation that's going in the walls. It's 85% recycled newspaper. It's called cellulose insulation, and it's got great thermal resistant properties, and the way it handles moisture is actually second to none compared to any other insulation. Right now the insulators are getting the netting prepared so we can inject the cellulose behind the netting at a really high density, and they're going to pack the cellulose in, and that also serves as an air retarder, and really is a great thermal insulator. And we really like the bio content of the cellulose and the low embodied energy, so it's really our first choice for insulation systems. We're shooting for 3.5 pounds of the cellulose fiber packed in per cubic foot. That prevents the product from settling. It also reduces airflow through the product, so that's really what we're shooting for. One unique feature of this project is we're drawing from the passive house design principles of super efficiency, really reducing the heating load as much as we can. And one thing we did when we did the foundation for this building was the whole building was put on high density geofoam, and so there's actually no heat loss to the ground.
And the framing of the house is 3 inches of expanded polystyrene foam, which makes a house that has about twice the insulative capacity of a normal new house. And that foam, not only does it wrap up the walls over the ridge and down the other wall, it actually goes underneath the concrete of the foundation. So it's a fairly unique design. I think there's only a couple houses in town currently being built with this type of technology. where you put a high density, some people call it geofoam, but it's an EPS that has a high compression strength, and you line the ground with it, and then you pour your concrete on top of that. So your concrete is fully insulated.
And this is what we used under the foundation. So it actually has more bearing capacity than the soil that the house is built on. And it's actually, we have 6 inches of this under the entire building. So there's absolutely no break in the insulation.
You know, we will only continue to increase the number of projects that we have that meet the sustainable design standards like LEED and Passive House and Living Building Challenge. But you know, the root of all of that and where we want to go is to create projects that not only lessen their impact on the environment, but actually seek to give back and to make our communities better places.
That's what caught my interest originally. Just trying to find a better way to build housing that is sustainable and can allow us to keep doing what we love to do, which is to build things. But if we're building things that are inherently wasteful, we're going to build ourselves out of a job.